The collected teachings of Luang Por Chaya from the July 22, 2013 talk, Ādsaļhā Pūjā. Today is the full moon day of July. This is a special day in Buddhism. It is the day the Buddha took conception in his mother's womb, the day he renounced the world to practice meditation for 6 years and eventually gain enlightenment, and the day he gave the first sermon to the 5 ascetics. The Buddha was born in 623 BC. At the age of 29, he renounced the world to practice meditation in the jungle. He finally gained supreme enlightenment at 35 years old. So, in 588 BC, he gained supreme enlightenment and became a Buddha. He became the Buddha on the full moon day of May. After that, he gave the first sermon to the 5 ascetics in Varanasi. So today is the full moon of July. We call today the Ādsaļhā Pūjā. Today the Buddha appeared to the world and gave the first sermon, and so today the Dhamma appeared to this world. And as he gave the first sermon to the 5 ascetics, one of them gained the first stage of enlightenment and become a stream enterer. This means that today is the day the Buddha's doctrine, and the Buddha's holy disciples, the so-called Triple Gem, appeared in the world. That's why we celebrate today, to pay homage to the Triple Gem. In his first sermon, which is called Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the Buddha mainly talked about the 4 noble truths. This refers to the noble truth of suffering, the noble truth of the cause of suffering, the noble truth of the cessation of suffering, and the noble truth of the way leading to the cessation of suffering. This is mainly what he taught. After the Buddha gained supreme enlightenment, he taught other beings, including both men and gods, for 45 years. Even though he had a lot of teachings, in essence his dispensation mainly consisted of the 4 noble truths, so all of us should understand what the 4 noble truths are. The Buddha said that all of us need to understand the noble truth of suffering. Suffering doesn't come by itself, it has a cause. What's the cause of suffering? It's craving, attachment. We need to overcome all forms of suffering. What do we have to do to accomplish that? The Buddha said that the noble truth of the cause of suffering should be abandoned. We should abandon craving and attachment. As we're able to remove the cause of suffering, we will reach the cessation of suffering, so-called nibbana, the supreme bliss. 226. Just practice. And what do we need to do to understand suffering and abandon the cause of suffering in order to reach the cessation of suffering? It's called the middle way. The way leading to the cessation of suffering should be developed. That's why we need to practice meditation. Just reading a book or listening to a Dhamma talk, you will not be able to overcome suffering. So, firstly, we need to understand what suffering is. The Buddha explained suffering many times. We have to be conceived and be in our mother's wombs for 9 or 10 months. This birth is suffering. But we forget. We don't remember. Sometimes we live in a small room, and we feel uncomfortable. So how about when we took conception in our mother's womb for 9 or 10 months? The place is so narrow. So the Buddha said that birth is suffering. Since we were born, with every moment we are getting older and older. The Buddha said that old age and decay are suffering. We want to be young, but it's impossible. Every moment, every second, we're getting older and older. No one's getting younger. Even if you take care of yourself the best you can, you're still getting older and older every second, every moment. That's why decay is suffering. It does not follow our desire. As we get older and older, so many kinds of diseases arise in our body. We have physical disease as well as mental disease. Disease is suffering. No one wants to get sick, but we come across so many kinds of disease every day. That's why everyone has to carry medicine all the time. When the time comes to depart the world, we have to die. No one wants to die. Even though we encounter difficulties in our life, we still want to have a long life. But when the time comes to say goodbye to this world, we have to. That is suffering. Sometimes we have to associate with persons or things we dislike. This is suffering. Just think about that. Sometimes we want to stay or be with someone or something, but we can't. This is suffering. And sometimes we don't get what we want. This is suffering. This suffering has a cause. What's the cause? Craving, greed, Attachment. If you attach to something or someone too much, you will have suffering. That's why the Buddha said that as human beings, as moral beings, we should do our part the best we can to be a good friend, a good wife, husband, son or daughter, parent, teacher, student, or follower. But don't attach. If you have a little attachment, you will have a 227, the collected teachings of Luang Por Chaya, little suffering. If you have a lot of attachment, you will have a lot of suffering. This is a matter of cause and effect. So we have to abandon this craving and attachment. And so, if there's no attachment, then there's no suffering. If there's no suffering, then we have happiness. This is why I'd like all of you to follow the Buddha's teaching. Try to understand suffering, and then try to reduce and remove attachment. How do we do this? We do this by following the middle way, or the Noble Eightfold Path. We have to walk through the middle way. What is the middle way? It is right understanding. We understand that good or bad actions are our own. Our actions will shape our destiny. We should try to refrain from unwholesome actions and cultivate wholesome actions. Good actions will receive good consequences. We also have to practice meditation. When we practice meditation, step by step we will gain vipassana knowledge, higher and higher. We will understand what is concept and what is reality, what is mind and body, and what is cause and effect. After we understand that, we will understand that this mind and body are interrelated as cause and effect, arising and disappearing. As they arise and disappear all the time, we call this suffering. Suffering due to formation. We cannot stop it. We cannot alter it. We cannot control it. It depends on cause and effect. They just arise and disappear. It's beyond our control, which we call anatta, uncontrollable. Mind and body, all conditioned things in this world, are impermanent. If we think that they're permanent, but then they become impermanent, we will suffer about it. This is why we should study impermanence, suffering, and uncontrollability. If we gain this knowledge, this is called right understanding. Nothing lasts long or forever in this world. It's just temporary. Everything is subject to change. Everything is suffering, unsatisfactory, and uncontrollable. We need to understand this. And also, if we keep practicing meditation, we will see the Four Noble Truths. Every moment, just arising and disappearing, is suffering. Whatever is oppressed by arising and disappearing is called suffering. And what's the cause? Attachment. You understand that? As you have no attachment, there's no suffering. In that moment, you will experience peace and happiness. This is Nirodha, momentary happiness. 228. Just practice. So we need right understanding. When we have right understanding, we will have right thinking. As we have right thinking, we will have right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. I would like all of you to have all of these right understanding, and so on, this Noble Eightfold Path, and try to develop virtue perfection higher and higher. And then you will understand suffering. Eventually, you will be able to overcome suffering and gain the supreme bliss, Nibbana. I would like all of you from today on to try to do the best you can to practice insight vipassana meditation, to be able to understand the Four Noble Truths and overcome all kinds of suffering, and to experience supreme bliss in this life. 229.